verdict form, followed by the signature of the foreperson reads, "We, the jury, find the defendant, Nathan Woodyard, not guilty of manslaughter, reckless, and the lesser included offense of criminally negligent homicide."
That's the verdict that came down about 90 minutes ago for Nathan Woodyard, the jury finding him not guilty of reckless manslaughter in the death of Elijah-McClain in 2019. So let's talk about what happened. Our 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson joins us now. So let's talk about the main factors. You always have to break these down for us. Main factors that we found a not guilty verdict this afternoon.
Well, to begin with, the conduct of Woodyard was different than the conduct of the others. He had the initial carotid hold, but then he was basically out of the picture, and the other officers dealt with Elijah-McClain. And, of course, as was the theme in the first trial, the first 2 officers, ketamine administered by the paramedics was argued by both sides as the cause of death, mostly because that's what the evidence appears to show. Finally, I think the fact that Woodyard took the stand and his lawyers put on a very robust defense worked to his advantage.
In the previous trial, there was no defense presented for the other 2 officers. And it's interesting because the day he took the stand, we were all like, wow, that's kind of a stunner. You don't always see that happen. Right. You said you would, if someone is able to do it, do it.
A lot of defense lawyers take the position that you should never put your client on the stand. I personally think that's a terrible mistake. If your client is innocent, can testify truthfully, is even basically articulate, and has no skeletons in his or her closet like a felony conviction, you gotta put him on. But ultimately, under the law, it's the accused who decides whether they want to take the stand. Doesn't matter what the lawyer says. But I have never encouraged a client to stand mute in a serious case when I felt that their testimony would potentially help them.
2 cases, 3 officers. We heard a lot about the ketamine. That certainly is going to be center stage in the next trial of these 2 EMTs who did administer the ketamine. How do they manipulate or try to maneuver through that? Because it seems that was what the coroner said killed Elijah-McClain.
Well, they're going to focus on the initial coroner's report, which gave a cause of death as undetermined, and they're going to try to put the blame back on the 3 officers. We can certainly see why the judge granted separate trials, because you really wouldn't want defense lawyers being special prosecutors helping, for example, the prosecution help convict defendant number 3 while you're defending convict or defendant number two. Yeah. And that's an important factor. This case was really odd because we had a key expert for the defense who was not even cross-examined by the prosecutors. And I think that's because they're looking down the road to the trial of the 2 paramedics. And of course, they have the second autopsy report to rely on.
So from a lawyer's point of view, you learn a lot as you keep trying these cases. And does that also play a role in potentially an appeal?
Well, the prosecution has had now 2 trial runs, to say it inappropriately, and the paramedics lawyers have had a chance to see everything that's happened. So they're going to have a bit of an advantage being the third set of defendants to go forward. But in terms of appeals, those are based on technical errors, such as the admission of evidence, improper instructions. The fact that Rosenblatt and Woodyard were acquitted doesn't help Radisma at all.
Okay.
Well, it'll be something we will continue to watch. But today, another end for these trials. We've been watching this case play for 4 years, and you've done this all your life. It's just funny when they end, they don't really end. They resonate in your vibe, in yourself for a while.
They stay with you forever, whether you tried the case or just covered it.
All right, Scott. Thank you. It's always good to see you.
You bet.